Hello everyone, this is Lawrence. It's been a little while since I made a video of me actually appearing in it. Um, get comfortable, adjust the chair. This is a video I've been wanting to make for some time. I'm going to try to keep it short, but that's what I say about all of them. Over the years I have collected a number of autographs from artists I have seen live, because I've been going to shows that are at smaller venues of artists who are not like superstars, you know, not the Mick Jaggers and the Paul McCartneys, but artists who are not as widely, you know, household name known. But who are successful in music, who have gotten a following and successful tours, and built a good fan base. And those are the type of shows I like to go to now, rather than the, you know, big concerts put out by the superstars, because they're more intimate. You get a really good show. You get to see them more up close. So going to such shows, I've accumulated a number of autographs when I got a chance to actually meet the artists, so I'm going to show those off. And this all started in 1999 when I saw Lucinda Williams at the Hampton Strawberry Festival. Great concert. It was an outdoor event, and you sat on a lawn, you staked a place on a lawn, and the stage was lower level. It was just like a little wooden platform. Okay, it wasn't up real high, you know, looking up there. And I just sat a few yards from Lucinda and her band, and it was a great show. She was just coming off the successful Car Wheels on the Gravel Road album, which she won a Grammy for Best Folk Album of the Year. And that really arose her profile in music substantially. And that's where I jumped in and became a fan. So after the show, I brought the 3 CD booklets with me, because back then, everything was CDs, you know, 1999. I'm missing one. Here it is. Okay. In case, I brought the booklets with me in case I got an autograph situation, along with a Sharpie. Okay. So after the show, she came out, gracefully signed autographs for everybody who wanted autographs signed. And so I got the Cartwheels on the Gravel Road booklets signed right there. Her most renowned album. The previous album, Sweet Old Worlds, I think this came out in the late 80s. And then her self-titled album. And she has very nice handwriting. And Lucinda seemed kind of shy, you know, so I didn't get much of a chat. You know, I just said, enjoyed the show. Would you please sign the booklets, if you will, please? Thank you very much. And she did. About a year later, I saw Lucinda again, and I didn't get a autograph, but I did get an autograph from the opening act, Casey Chambers. Casey Chambers, album called The Captain, and she opened for Lucinda. First time I ever heard of her or saw her, but since then she has established herself in the Americana, you know, country field. She's from Australia, and she was very nice, you know, very down to earth, and I love her music. So she gracefully signed a booklet for me right there. Fast forward to 2010, I saw Sharon Jones and the Dap King at a place called the Norfolk Nova, and in my city where I live, Norfolk, Virginia. And the Norfolk Nova is an old theater that holds about 800, maybe 1,000 people. I don't know exactly the fire code occupancy. It's an old theater, and they did not renovate it. They just left the old kind of dungery vibe the way it is. It's a great place to see a rock and roll show. So I saw Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings, and there's the signed CD right there. Love You, Sharon Jones. And this was a fantastic show. It was like seeing a show at the Apollo in the early 1960s. Sharon was a very energetic performer. She brought people from the crowd up to the stage, about 20 of them, to dance to a number. And it was great. And how I got that autograph, of course, I brought the booklet, and the show ended. I was over at the concession stand. I turned over to my left, and there she was. And I said hello to her, and she said, "Oh, hi, sugar." She was just very like that, And I asked her to sign the CD booklet. She did. She gave me a kiss on the cheek, said, "I love you." And I could smell the fragrance she was wearing after I got in my car to drive home. And that was very cool. My only regret was at the concession stand, they were selling their albums. I wish I got a copy of this album. I was being a cheap bastard. And opened it, had her sign the album, but I got the CD signed, so that's good. There's a singer called Alani. I discovered her on NPR First Listen, and because they were spotlighting her album prior to it coming out, you could listen to the entire album. I was very much intrigued by her voice, so I went to YouTube and listened and watched to her YouTube videos. I was blown away. I mean, the voice sounded good on the record, but it sounded fantastic on the YouTube videos. And there was one concert, it's a four song mini concert that I first watched. I was blown away. I'm going to provide a link to it on this video. I would suggest you watch it and just give it your full attention. You will just be amazed. She has this beautiful, magnificent expression voice. And so anyway, I looked up her tour dates and learned she was coming to Wolf Trap, Virginia. So I immediately got a ticket, and that's about 90 miles from where I live. And I drove up there, and she wasn't playing she was actually opening for a guy named Son Little, who's kind of a rocker, soul, artist. And anyway, drove up to Wolf Trap, Virginia, and the show wasn't at the main theater. It was a little indoor concert hall, which was better. It was in the fall. And she sounded magnificent live, just unbelievable. And she only has one album out, so she only did a 45-minute set. And after that, she said, come to the concession stand. I'll if you want something signed. So I did, and I brought her album, her debut album, her only album so far, called You and I. And I'll show you the signature in a minute. So when I got up there, my turn, I had a little chat with her, and she gracefully signed the album. And what's so funny was she was actually the cashier who was accepting the money instead of someone else. So, she actually sold me this album personally. And when she signed it, I had her do something different, which I'm continuing this pattern. What I'll do is pick a lyric line from a song, a very short one, one short sentence, and have them write it there instead of Best Wishes, Lawrence. So I selected the line, "I rose like the morning sun," from the song on the album, Darkness at Noon. And you could see where she wrote this. I rose like the morning sun, but she did write my name on there. I wasn't thinking, thank you, Lawrence, and then her name. She has a very cool handwriting, very expressive handwriting. By having them write a lyric line, I think it makes the signature, the writing more unique, because you're taking a piece of composition they did, a lyric composition, and they're writing it on the album. So I think that's very cool. So I'm very happy to have this album, and this is framed up in my vinyl room on a album frame. I'm keeping this in mint condition. Okay, last February 7th, I think, went to see an artist who I became a fan of theirs about 2 years ago. A friend introduced me to this artist, not personally introduced me, but let me know who she is. She put this artist on my musical radar. And let me put this back. And that's the artist is Valerie June, okay? And this is her sophomore album, called The Order of Time. And this was my big introduction to her. I absolutely adore this album. I think it's fantastic. So when I saw her, I brought this album with me, hoping I could get a signature. And I saw her at a place called the American Dream Theater, which is a new facility, opened up not too long ago. And it only holds 300 people, and it's set up more like a concert lecture hall at a university. You go in there, all the seats are slanted like that. So when you sit down, you're not looking at the person's head in front of you, because they're lower. Everything's slanted down, and it's in 3 sections. Triangle sections like a slice of pie, left, middle, and right. Okay, there's not a bad seat in the house. It only holds 300, and the stage is small. So Valerie was doing a solo tour, no band, just her instruments, and it was great. I'm glad I saw her in this intimate setting with just her. So, after the show, I brought the album with me. I went to the concession stand before the concert, and they informed me that she would be doing a meet and greet. So I went ahead and got her debut album. It's right here. Put that back. Okay, right here, which I hadn't got yet. It's called Pushing Against the Stone. This was on my must-buy list, and I had to go with my budget. But that night, I figured get the album because I get a chance for have her sign it. So I bought the album at the concession stand, and when the show was fantastic. Okay, and when it ended, they had the meet and greet. I was about the 5th person in line, so I had a quick chat with Valerie, and I had a picture with her, and also had a picture with Alana, the other artist too, nice picture of Valerie and myself, and it turned out really well. And she signed the 2 albums. On this one, The Order of Time, as I did with the Alana album, I had her write a lyric line. She wrote it in a metallic ink instead of black. I don't know if it shows up, but it's from the song Astral, Plane. And she said, she wrote the lyric line, the opening line, is there a light you have inside of you? Right there. And then her name. On the debut album, she just wrote her name. I wasn't going to have her write a lyric line there because I didn't want to impose too much, and there were people waiting. She also signed a concert ticket, I pulled out concert tickets. I just scribbled something on here. She did. She put her name, signature. So it's very cool to attend such, smaller shows of an artist who's not quite as widely known, but who are successful in music and have that fan base and do smaller venues. I mean, you're not going to meet Paul McCartney or Mick Jagger if you attend those shows. Oh, by the way, Valerie June, she actually signed it with these two Sharpies there in both albums, so I'm keeping these as part of the package. But you go to these smaller shows of the up and comers or the lesser known artists, which is a shame because they should be more known. You get a chance to get an autograph or meet them, maybe have a quick chat. And it was Frank Sinatra who once said, the only thing you owe your audience is a good show, which is true. But if you get a chance to meet them, that's great also. So anyway, I just wanted to share, I don't have a lot of autograph stuff, but I do have some, and I wanted to share them with you. So please leave a comment. If you know, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Or if you have, and if you know somebody who might be interested, let them know too. Thank you very much for watching. You all have a good day. Bye.